Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl and Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. All Pittsburgh Pirate fans' faces should be smiling. Did we have a weekend, or did we have a weekend? Did you expect to win 3 out of 4? Hi, everybody. Bob Tattern here. Sportsline Trivia begins, and Mike Pavlik, of course, here tonight. And
I'm worn out.
You were down at the.
I was at the game last night.
Sunday night.
I was, so I'm worn out. Just watching the game on Saturday was enough, but throw that into anybody that was at both of those games, man, you got your money's worth, that's for sure.
One of the things I thought about, and I don't know how fast they can get this. If ESPN's ratings on the Eastern Seaboard, Pittsburgh in particular, increased.
Yeah, I wonder what that
Great.
And in what hours that happened. Everybody stick it out and watch. Don't turn the TV off with them, I guess. I guess you learned your lesson on Saturday about that. So.
And of all, I mean, you could take these games apart, and I'm sure when we get some callers on, Polanco delivers 2 games. He came through with key hits.
Well, more than 2 games. He did it all week. He did it for the entire homestand. He did it. I was at the game Wednesday. He did it Wednesday also. I mean, he didn't get a lot of hits, but he got a lot of meaningful hits, and at least that's something. I mean, he strikes me as the type of kid that you almost need Chuck Tanner there for him to constantly tell him how good he is. He almost looks like he may need that positive reinforcement. And, we'll see what goes on with that. Trading deadline's coming. His job might not be safe either. There's some names being floated. So.
All right, folks, our number, if you're watching right now, at 724-236-0430. 0430.
Please.
Get those.
And if you're watching on Thursday, write it down and remember to call next Monday.
All right. If you want to win a prize on the program, we can arrange that as well with a simple or difficult trivia question you pick. And here are the rules. First of all, you can only win at your home address, but every other week. Also, you can try the Grand Salami or the Mystery Profile, winning it once in a calendar month, one or the other. And as far as the Mystery Profile goes, you can only try it once in a calendar month. Multiple choice questions, we give you 15 seconds to respond. Grand Salami at 20, Mystery Profile, clue by clue. First-time callers get more than one prize, and if you've not called in a year, we classify you as a first-time caller. Get answers to the trivia questions. Go to my website, doubledribblebob.com. Matter of fact, on the salami list, I have a question out of the 5 that was used as a fan fact recently. Okay, so tune into my radio show. It's on Sports History. I am Sports Nostalgia, Saturday morning, WAVL. On the AM dial, 910, 10 o'clock Saturday morning. So, Michael, any thoughts before we do the break?
Just thinking back to the last 2 games, how there were so many things that had to go exactly right for the outcomes to end up how they were.
I thought sure they were going to lose Sunday's game.
The throwing the guy out at home after the double that cleared the bases. Watson in the 8th inning striking out the guy looking when there was the bases loaded and 1 run had already scored, making sure they didn't score any more.
How about A.J. Burnett's home run? Without it, none of this is possible.
Nothing. The foul tip that wasn't the foul tip, the whole umpire thing, and they actually went the the baseball writers, which they have the right to do, requested basically an audience with the umpire to get an explanation. They would send a pool reporter down, and I heard today it was Rob Rossi from the Trib in the Valley that was elected to be the pool reporter for that night, and he said that the crew chief, who was Larry Vanover, was basically what was the word he used? That he couldn't believe
standoffish?
The audacity of the Baseball Writers Association to ask for an explanation on what happened, and he refused to be quoted.
Mike, you know, when you do stuff like that, it's a downer in your league. You've got to be
forthcoming.
above board with everything.
See, the thing is, and we talked about this at the game last night. I was talking about it with some people that I had never met before, but luckily they weren't dressed in red. There were a lot of those around. But how those, when there is a replay and the umpires are checking it and they look and and the whole stadium now gets to see every close play. 5 years ago, if you would have shown a close play at a stadium, the umpires would have walked off the field and never come back.
Yeah.
So we are making
and it was a union thing then too.
Exactly. We are making some progress. I guess it's baby steps here.
All right, folks. Also, if you want this, you can call me, whatever. I have a photo or a sketch of the pirate parrot with the cardinal in his mouth. I'll send it to you. Anyway, we're going to take our first break. We'll be back right after this. Since 1914, the local area has relied on the Rusevich family of funeral homes in deepest times of need. The Rusevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley, now 100 years strong and still doing things right. Its reputation and unquestionable service now continues with a fourth generation. The Rusevich family of funeral homes, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road in Lower Borough.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Trust Snyder Heating and Remodeling to ensure your home is properly climate controlled. Get free estimates on roofing, siding, doors, and windows, heating, and air conditioning. Since 1982, local residents have called on the Snyder family for reliable, trustworthy service. They treat your home like it's their own. Call on Snyder Heating and Remodeling to have them inspect your air conditioning system to make sure you're ready for the hot summer. Snyder Heating and Remodeling proudly supports our veterans and the men and women who proudly serve our country today. Enjoy 16-ounce Bud Light drafts at only $2 1/4, or the 23-ounce drafts for $3 during all the Pirates games at the Breakaway, Craigdale Road, across the parking lot of the New Kensington Lower Borough Ice Rink.
Imagine for a moment that you may have been at the Breakaway on Saturday night watching the game on Fox. And you had those drink specials in effect, and you sat down to watch the game. The first pitch was about 7:15. 14 innings later, at some point after midnight,
they're calling for the truck.
You had to get a cab. Even though it's Bud Light, you still needed a cab for the ride home. That was, and you probably wouldn't have spent $20 either. So I mean, it could have happened. It could have been a long night and an enjoyable one.
All right, we're going to go to Tony to lead us off here tonight. And Tony, welcome to the program.
Guys,
Mr. Mayor.
Damn that All-Star game.
No complaints about the Pirates, please.
Damn that All-Star game. You hear what I just said?
I did.
Yeah,
I
know.
disagree. I'm glad they're not playing right now because they'd lose for sure tonight.
Well, they're hot.
Yeah, but
You don't want to shut it down. Hey, we needed that when we was in last place. We needed that stuff.
Well, if we were playing the Cardinals again tonight, then I'd say go ahead and play again. But
Yeah.
the letdown that they would have after that might be a little bit difficult for them. I don't know. It's a good thing they're not playing Milwaukee today. I'm glad they get a couple days.
Yeah, they'll get a couple
But
days.
have you ever, go ahead.
Long time ago, there was a movie made, Angels in the Outfield.
I remember.
Now, this was the original one, not the one that came after with Cleveland or who
This
the
is
heck
the
it was.
one with,
But this was the Pirates.
Yeah.
I think they're back.
The Angels are out there.
They have to be.
I swear I saw something flying around down there last night.
You were right, probably. They have to be back.
And
Because, what's happening is just unbelievable. I'm sitting there stunned.
again, like I said, Tony, how many things had to go right
Oh, my God.
just for those two games to end up? Now, I mean, great baseball had to happen. They had to play well to win. But, it was more than that. It was just that every play that they had to make, they did, and they still barely won. But that just tells you what the Cardinals have. That it's going to be a lot harder to kill them than you think. And just when you think they might be dead, they're not. And the other thing,
if you call Vegas, and try to get odds on that, they'd turn you down. They wouldn't take the bet.
No,
what they
wouldn't.
did, But hey, no, I ain't gonna complain. I mean, there's a lot of things they did wrong, but there's a lot of things they did right.
Right.
So I'll just cool it this time. But I'm just hoping these mistakes that they can continue making doesn't cost them the pennant, down the line. But that's another day. That's after the All-Star game.
I guess the key is they're going to make these mistakes and just make fewer than the team you're playing that night, and that can, it's still, Mercer's such a good shortstop, and just at the worst times, he just having trouble with those ground balls. He did it twice in that series, and I thought last night was going to cost him for sure. Watson, I don't know. Watson, something's going on there. I'm not.
I don't know.
I have
maybe I have an arm trouble. Maybe
his last 17 games. In 15 innings, he's given up 16 hits. That's not Tony Watson.
No, it isn't.
And he's still, now the thing is, miles per hour is still there. He's still throwing 94, 95.
Yeah.
It's location.
His ERA was over 4 in June. That's very unusual. It kind of worries me a little bit.
See if they can figure it out. I hope so, sooner or later.
Rest them up
back in '58, I don't know, Bob will probably remember this.
Elroy Face.
Yeah, but the Pirates was unbelievable. They would get first inning, the team would score 8 runs. It was like nothing. You just shrugged your shoulders. Let's keep listening to the game because you knew they'd come back and win, and they did, game after game. Elroy Face went in a couple times, tie game. He would give up a run or so. It seemed like on purpose, and then he would shut them down. The Pirates come back and win the game.
And he'd pick up the win.
Yeah, and he'd pick up the win.
He made a career out of that.
That year they should have went to the World Series, and the Braves, Milwaukee Braves, beat them out.
Yeah, the Braves won the pennant in '58, right? And then,
yes.
And then everybody thought that they were going to win the pennant in '59, and they kind of took a step backwards.
Oh yeah, Pirates went in the dumper, but then '60 they did it. But
mostly the same team, right?
Yeah,
most
of
of
the same team, exactly. But in '60 they made a few. They got a few players.
They got Don Hoke.
that helped them out quite a bit, but
I understand that Don Hoke guy was pretty good.
Hey, not bad. How about shake, rattle, and roll? You stumped. I stumped Bob on this.
You stumped me on that one, and you know what, Tony? I still can't think of it now.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Bob Prince used to say, wake him up in the middle of January, and he'll hit you a line drive.
Oh, that's Smokey Burgess, right?
That's right. You got it, baby. Yep.
Yeah.
So
finished his career with who? The White Sox?
I'm not sure. I think
Yeah, he did.
Maybe 10 years ago I could remember. Right now,
Well, you know what, Tony? What's nice? I just looked up the Angels in the Outfield from the 1951 film. I couldn't think of the guy's name that was the manager, and it turned out it was Paul Douglas and Janet Leigh. Now before they film, they send Janet Leigh down to Forbes Field to get a feel for the ballpark.
Right.
And in her high heels, she walked up to the batting cage as Ralph Kiner was taking some pretty hardy swings.
Yeah.
What happened to her high heels, they got stuck in the infield. So when Kiner came out of the batter's box, she kind of looked down and said, you know, I'm stuck. He swooped her up and carried her off the field.
That was nice.
And they dated after that.
And then they had a few dates after that.
Yeah, they went out. As a matter of fact, he met Jamie Lee Curtis, who of course was Janet Lee's daughter.
Right.
To Jamie Lee Curtis, daughter of Janet Lee and Tony Curtis.
Right.
And he had met her years later. He goes, you probably don't know who I am, but my name is Ralph Kiner. And he says, you may not know this, she may not have told you, but I used to date your mother. And she went over and gave him a big old hug and said, Daddy!
Well, Kiner was sitting with his wife in the next booth. And he said, you know, I should go over, you know, say hi and that, you know, because I dated her mother. And she said, yeah, you should go over there. And then that's what happened. She went over and he said, hey, I'm Ralph Kiner. He said, your mother. Hey, Daddy, I finally found you.
Great sense of humor, though, for her, though.
That was very sharp on her behalf.
Those were the days, huh? I don't think we have...
Yeah, there's the days we, you know, like to remember, but it's getting harder and harder every day. But
having those problems myself, Tom.
Yeah, I understand. You're a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
So, the All-Star Home Run Derby tonight. Who do you like?
I like Jock Peterson from the Dodgers. They had to change some of the rules. They cut it back instead of 5 minutes. They cut it back to 4 minutes because they're expecting bad weather and they want to try to sneak it in before.
Yeah.
I guess 11 o'clock. They're thinking it could get bad, so they're gonna tighten it up a little bit, which I think is a good idea anyway. But that kid from the Dodgers, Jock Peterson, I don't know if you've seen him play yet or not, but when he hits a home run, he hits it like 500 feet.
I seen you know on the baseball.
Right. I'm disappointed Harper's not going to play in it, but he wanted to have his dad pitch and he can't do it. He's injured, so.
Bob, who do you like?
Bryce Harper?
He's not in. He can't.
I know. I'm saying that the guys that I would.
Yeah.
Well, he's not in, so you got to pick somebody else.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I told my wife. I said, you know what? When I come home from the show, don't even bother with it. Watch whatever you want. I don't care.
It's a good night to keep the peace.
It is. It is. By the way, Tony,
I want to watch the game tomorrow, though. I'm interested in that.
I looked up Smokey Burgess's history in baseball. He finished with the White Sox his last 3 years, 65, 66, and 67. And we were talking about the great success that he had as a pinch hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to this date is the only man taken or sent to the All-Star game as a pinch hitter because of his pinch hitting abilities. They didn't want him as a catcher. They wanted him off the bench.
The Pirates always had guys like that. Jerry Lynch was a great pinch hitter.
And he was with Cincinnati before Pittsburgh.
Right. So they always seem to have, and then they had John Vanderwall in the early 2000s.
And how about Matt Stairs?
And Matt Stairs and Craig Wilson had a bunch of home runs. But so they don't have one now, though. Maybe Travis Ishikawa's going to do that. He had a pretty nice week. How
about Travis Snyder?
I wish we still had Travis Snyder. Let's not get on to that. Trading deadline's coming up. They're going to work on something. But Ishikawa done a nice job for him. He's walked a couple times in the middle of rallies when they've won. And had a pinch hit. I think he had a double the other night against the Cardinals. So it's a guy that can play first base for you. And as just a left-handed bat off the bench, it's better than what they had.
Okay, Tony, it's about time. We got to do some
Albert
trivia.
Pujols.
If you wish.
Albert Pujols, he says. Is
Yeah,
that who you're
That's
picking?
Albert Pujols. That's who I'm taking. I know you
Okay.
guys didn't ask me.
He's playing. Well, he's going up against. I think he might be going up against Peterson. I think he's going up
Yeah,
against.
well, you know what? I'm going back to, a little older guy. I don't know why.
So that'll be interesting. I hope they can get it in because I'll tell you what, it sometimes doesn't play very well on television, but it's great when you're there. That's one of the coolest events I've ever seen.
All right, he's rushing me. You must have one more call.
Actually, two. They're lined up today.
All right, if it's two, then I'm out of here. All right, let me have, Grand Salami. And, you stupid, giving him a break. Let me have number, let me see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think I'll go with 5.
We scratched that
we
question
scratched 5.
tonight.
I'm sorry.
It's my error.
It was the Len Dawson question from last week, and we didn't replace it.
It was what?
1 through 4. You have to pick 1 through 4. 5 we can't do because we didn't replace it.
Oh, I mean, was it answered last week?
Yeah,
oh, it was given last. Oh, yeah, I remember because I knew the question.
Yeah,
and I didn't pick 5. I picked. I forgot what I picked, 3 or 2 or 1. Yeah, okay, you're right. Bob,
well, last week
buddy.
you picked
All
number
right,
3.
Let me have.
You picked 3 last week.
Yeah, 3. I know. All right, let me have 4 this week.
All right. All right, Tony. Here we go. Who holds the major league record for most runners picked off by a pitcher? The major league career record.
Steve Carlton.
For most times picking off a base runner by a pitcher. Did you say something?
I said Steve Carlton.
You said Steve Carlton. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You are correct, sir.
I am correct.
You are correct, sir.
Thank God, Bob. You didn't scratch off number 5.
That's great.
Would you have gotten it?
He did get it.
Yeah, because
I'd have gotten it too.
Yeah, because who took it after me?
Len Dawson.
Bay or somebody?
I wouldn't have gotten Len Dawson. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
Well, you know, me and Len Dawson has a little history when he was a younger guy.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'll tell you someday.
Did you guys know a guy?
All right, now how many did I have in it? Is that 34, 5?
Oh gosh, please quit.
I don't know. We might.
How do you like his?
We might have that in the back. You know what? Your name came up yesterday amongst friends of mine who don't know who you are, but I had to explain you to them when A-Rod came up or the other night with the bases loaded.
Oh yeah.
I said, well, I hope he doesn't hit one because it's going to put. He's catching up to Tony. Somebody said, who's Tony? I said, sit down. I'll tell you who Tony is. I said, if you lived in the
well,
valley,
you know what?
you'd
I had
know.
my doll out.
I told these guys they need to watch the show on the internet and they'd know.
That's
who you
right.
are. Yeah.
Tell them. What do you guys? You know, if you're friends, you're friends. I'm on the internet. Why ain't you watching me?
Exactly.
Well, maybe they ain't as friendly as you think they are.
Yeah, that's okay. They don't have to watch. It's all right. But they
all
should.
right. Let me know how many I have, Bob, whenever I talk to you.
We'll keep
All
track.
right.
Thanks, Tom.
Hey, guys, have a wonderful evening.
You too.
I'll be
care,
back.
Bye.
Okay.
I'll be back. He says, I probably have that written down someday. When we get to a commercial, I'll dig through my
All
papers.
right, which we're going to do now, by the way.
I think I have it.
I know we have another caller on hold. In fact, what do we got, guys? 2 ready to go?
Okay.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back with Mr. Tampa Bay, if that's the order. So stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. Come to Perry the Pizza Man to enjoy some great pizza. It all starts with people who know the art of making great pizza, including vegetarian. And there's more than great pizza on the menu. Order up one of their great hoagies, strombolis, calzones, and wedgies. It's all mouth-watering good. Sandwiches, pasta, fresh salads, and a list of side dishes just waiting to become your favorites. Perry the Pizza Man, Wildlife Lodge Road, Lower Borough. Go to their website for money-saving coupons.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
You can watch the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Breakaway on Craigdale Road near the ice rink and enjoy 16-ounce Bud Light drafts for only $2.25 or the 23-ounce drafts for $3. Any Pirate game at the Breakaway. Check them out. Okay, we do have Mr. Tampa Bay on the line, so let's get to him. Good evening, sir. Thank you for tuning us in.
Hey guys, how are you doing tonight?
Good. All right, good to hear from you.
Hey, it's always good. Hey, I told you last week the Pirates would take 3 out of 4. I almost took them for a sweep, but I decided not to. But the Cardinals better watch out now. They got a lot of pressure on them. They're hurting, and the Pirates got their number.
My question is their pitching going to be able to hold up?
Pirates pitching?
No, the Cardinals pitching. I heard John Smoltz say today, he made a really good point. He said the second half is a whole lot different. It's not just another half. It's a lot different than the first half. The pressure gets a lot more, and you know they're going to have some pitchers that haven't exactly pitched an entire season. Carlos Martinez, is as good as he is, has not pitched an entire season. I don't know what they're doing with their fifth starting spot right now. So we'll see. But they should get other people healthy. Holiday's coming back, and Matt Adams should be back at some point, I think. So.
They said last night Adams is done for the season.
Is he done for the
completely done.
Yeah.
He's completely done. So I think the Cardinals, I think it's going to be Pittsburgh, Chicago, St. Louis. If St. Louis can, they're going to fall. They're going to hit. They're already on a 3-game losing streak. They're going to hit hard. The Mets are going to take 2 out of 3 against them on Friday and Saturday.
Well, there's only St. Louis and Kansas City in front of us. So those games in Kansas City, we got to win them.
Be difficult games, yeah, too.
They're going to be tough.
They are.
Kansas City is
And one thing I found this, and I had it written down earlier this year when the Pirates had lost 3 games in St. Louis earlier in the season, all walk-offs, by the way, which made the last 2 nights even so much better. But since August of 2013, including playoffs, the Pirates have lost 18 out of 22 in St. Louis. They're going to have to fix that, too. And that's the next thing they're going to have to do. They are 0-6 the last 2 Septembers in St. Louis. They lost 2 out of 3 games there in the playoffs, and they're 4-18 overall, including playoffs in St. Louis since 2013 August when things started to get serious. So that's something. The Cardinals are having trouble winning in Pittsburgh too, so that makes it interesting. But that's something the Pirates, if they really want to overtake them, if they really want to grab the upper hand in this thing, they're going to have to win in St. Louis.
Right. I'm going to throw this out here, and I want you guys to say something about it later or whatever. But mark my word, when 2016 comes around, A.J. Burnett will be a Pirate for 1 more year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, they're going to offer him money to stay. His boys are watching him play his first All-Star game this week.
That's right.
They're with him. They're on a press conference right now. But
that's neat.
Yeah,
he'll probably have them on the field tonight for the Derby and everything too. That'll be kind of cool for him.
By the way, I've got a shot of the. I can't show it here. The pirate parrot with a cardinal in his mouth, and the caption is, "It's what's for dinner."
Chicken.
Oh gosh! Hey, by the way, do you want me to send this to your email?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. You got to leave it with the guys when we're done talking, though, if you don't mind.
Okay, we'll do. Hey, I'm going to go for the Grand Salami.
Okay.
And let's go Bucks in the second half. That's all I got to say.
Okay, you got it.
I'll take number 5.
We can't do 5.
It's the one you had.
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Number 3.
Okay. Here we go.
You're in.
Who was Major League Baseball's first catcher to win batting titles in back-to-back seasons? Who was the first catcher to win back-to-back batting titles? 20 seconds.
Baseball is my weakness. I'd have to say from Milwaukee Brewers back in the day, Paul Molitor.
No, it was Joey Mauer.
Okay.
2008, 2009 batting titles back to back. Good
All
shot.
right, guys.
Hey, we'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, have a good one.
leave your email with the guys here in the studio. Don't hang up.
All right, well, I'll do.
Okay, in the meantime, if I can, and I know the guys will sneak up the phone number on the screen, but I want to talk about Mattio's Pizza. Mattio's Pizza and Subs. Make a phone call anytime you get the hungries for it. They have such great quality ingredients, and people talk about it. You know, the salads are great. All the fixings that go into the sandwiches, they're fantastic. So give Mattio's Pizza and Subs a call. They're located next to the District Magistrate's office on Broadview Boulevard in Brackenridge Heights, and their phone number is 724-904-7312. So that's the number.
Call ahead.
All right, we got Mark on the line with us. Mark from New Kensington. Mark, how you doing?
Good evening, fellas. How you guys doing?
Good, Mark.
Good to have you on.
I didn't get a chance to call the past couple of weeks, so I don't know if this was brought up last week or not about the finger injury to that giant Pierre-Paul and the one from Tampa Bay.
No, we didn't get into that.
I was wondering, are they going to be out for the season, or is there any more?
I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play, but the thing is, from the way I understand it so far, is that he hasn't exactly talked to the Giants yet, and that they tried to get in to see him in the hospital after it happened, and I guess they wouldn't. The agent or somebody wouldn't let him in, wouldn't let the Giants in, and there seems to be they're setting up camp here. Both sides are kind of staking out their ground, and you wonder if the Giants may try to find a way to get out of that contract. Now, I think he was he's one of those guys that was offered, it was tendered a franchise, and he hasn't signed it yet. And I believe the deadline to sign those is Wednesday. Would the Giants pull that and maybe try to, and for those of you that missed it, Jason Pierre-Paul from the Giants, in a fireworks accident on the 4th of July, blew up, messed up his hand really bad. He's had that thumb surgery and had his index finger amputated. So when your parents tell you, be careful with the fireworks, but I think he's still going to try and play. I've heard doctors say that he'll be able to do it. It's just going to be very difficult
to
get
learn it. He's got to learn again.
And grab with the hand, because you're not going to be able to grab jerseys. And defensive lineman, which is what he is, you need to be able to grab the offensive lineman to move him out of the way.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering, how that would mess him up. And then about the passing of Kenny the Snake Stabler last week. With one of the Pittsburgh nemesis.
He was.
Yeah.
And he was a great player too. And it's kind of sad how sometimes this has to go when somebody will die like that, and then it'll help their Hall of Fame candidacy. It worked with Ron Santo. Ron Santo got in the Hall of Fame very shortly after he passed away because people took another look at his career, and I think that's going to happen to Ken Stabler now. This guy was completing 60% of his passes back in an era when completing 50% of your passes was good.
Wasn't he the result of one of that rule change about the fumble, that only on the 4th down only the guy fumbles can recover?
They call it the Holy Roller.
Yeah, the Holy Roller.
In San Diego when he fumbled it ahead, and they ended.
Yeah.
And now it's like if you fumble the ball forward, if you fumble the ball on 4th down,
that's where you get it.
The only person that can recover it is the person that fumbled it.
Or if not, or something, they mark it where you fumbled it or something to that effect, so it doesn't benefit.
But he was a great player. He really was. And those teams were, the Raiders teams, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the Steelers. I mean, those were the 4 main combatants back in the 70s. And every year in the playoffs, 2 of those teams were playing each other.
Let me give you a little small story on Stabler at Alabama. Both he and Namath played their college ball there, and both were suspended for breaking team rules. I wonder what they were.
Yeah.
But Stabler was no angel. However, it's not that he did anything seriously wrong regarding betting or things like that. So he was out one night, missed a bet check, but it goes to show, star quarterback or not, when you were playing for the Bear, Mr. Bryant, you got your dues like anybody else.
Follow the rules. Check the stats. Check his stats up against guys like Dawson that we talked about tonight, Bob Greasy, Namath, guys like that. His stats are better, and I don't know why he didn't get much traction for the Hall of Fame.
Did Stabler follow Namath at Alabama?
He was after him. I'm not sure if it was immediately or not. That was back in the 60s.
They said Stabler was 69. I think Namath is what, about 72?
No, Namath was way before that. Namath came out in the early to mid 60s. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to look it up right now.
I thought Namath was my brother's 71. He played around that time. I thought he was just a couple years old, maybe 73 then.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not exactly sure when Namath came out of college, but he was in the late 50s and early 60s. I know he was still at Beaver Falls. So, I've seen the pictures at their gym up there, Namath on the basketball team. It's very interesting. They have pictures surrounding of all the teams at Beaver Falls. They're awesome gym that they have. And So I'm thinking the Namath is probably got to be about 75, maybe.
Stabler is at the time of his death, July the 8th, 69. And college, Alabama, high school, Foley, Alabama.
He's an Alabama guy through and through.
Was with Oakland until 79, then Houston, and finally the New Orleans Saints. I really didn't keep up on
he moved around a little bit.
Oakland,
he was traded for Dan Pastorini. That they made a 1-for-1 trade when they traded Stabler to Houston for Dan Pastorini, trading two really good quarterbacks. Namath was born in 1943, so he is 72. So you're right on that, Mark.
Okay, that's what I thought. He wasn't. He looks older, maybe because of all his partying.
I was going to say both of those guys.
When was Namath born? 42?
43.
Yeah, there's 2 years difference. That's it.
Yeah.
So he could have followed
So
him
they
or would
were
have
probably
known him
back.
in possibly.
They were probably back to back. That's the Bear could get himself a quarterback or two now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I guess I'm ready for multiple choice.
All right. I think
My
I'm
turn
up.
or your turn?
I think I'm up.
Okay.
Okay, Mark. Here we go. This will be number 8 on our sheet. What member of the 28-man 3,000 hit club has the lowest career batting average? Of all the 3,000 hit guys, who has the lowest batting average? Here are your 4 choices: Robin Yount, Cal Ripken, Eddie Murray, or Dave Winfield. Lowest batting average of the 3,000 hit club.
Dave Winfield?
It is not Dave Winfield. Cal Ripken, 276.
Okay. That was my second choice. Okay, I was close.
All right, Mark.
Okay, thanks, fellas. Have a good week.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back here with another caller who's anxious to get on the air with us. So, folks, and a first-time caller, we will add. Stay with us, and we'll be back with that caller and try to give away some prizes. Stay with us.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Faldarelli Square.
For over 38 years and 3 generations, Arnold Furniture has been the area's favorite furniture store. We have over 4 floors of living rooms, dining rooms, recliners, bedding, carpeting, and so much more. You'll always find friendly personal service from one of the family. And our prices consistently beat the competition, plus free local delivery and free setup guaranteed. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
Why do my customers choose Husqvarna Power Equipment? That's easy, because my landscaping crew has to rely on a durable product.
I need the performance and quality that Husqvarna provides.
And the innovative products that help me move on with my day.
For maintenance parts or accessories, I don't have to go far. I know my Husqvarna dealer is right around the corner. Make the impossible possible and visit a Husqvarna dealer near you.
If you're going to take in the Pittsburgh Pirates on television, go down to Breakaway. They're at the ice rink in New Kensington, Lower Borough. Enjoy the 16-ounce Bud Light drafts for only $2.25, or the 23-ounce drafts for only $3. All Pirate game prices at the Breakaway near the ice rink, New Kensington, Lower Borough. All right, we have a first-time caller. I want to make sure that we have your address and phone number. Do we have that? Okay.
All righty.
Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
First name?
This is Dave.
Hi, Dave.
All right, Dave. Good to have you.
How you doing, Bob?
Okay.
Hey, how's things in Leechburg?
They're doing.
It's nice here. It's not raining.
I'll tell you what.
Same here. Hey, how about that Polanco? He's really doing a good job, huh?
Polanco?
He's
the last couple of days.
Yeah, what he hits, it counts.
Well, this week during the homestand, he's had a bunch of big hits. They had him batting 8th yesterday against the lefty, which was interesting. But you know, I do. I mentioned this to Bob earlier in the show. I really think that he's a guy that almost needs that Chuck Tanner kind of influence, somebody to pump him up and tell him how good he is, and maybe that's the kind of way that he needs to be brought along. But you know, they've been able to get by so far with him struggling, and if he has a better second half, it can only help.
I like he bunted himself on. That was unexpected. He got the speed.
It was a great
that
bunt.
counts as a hit.
Yeah, that kind of sticks at it like a 75-year-old pitcher that was out there too. He's like trying to, okay, now come off the mound and field the bunt and see if you can throw me out.
You know, yeah, I know he does like an old buck there.
It's a shame that McCutcheon's hitting streak came to an end. And the guys were talking about the hitting streak record owned by, of course, Joe DiMaggio at 56 games. Mm-hmm. Incredible. And then when the streak was broken, he came back the next game and began another streak.
I think 19.
Was it that much?
I think it was 19.
But, you know, so their comments were that because of the specialization of the late relievers with 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, this is going to be very, very difficult to tie or break.
Hey,
Pete Rose came close with 44.
And Rose made that point, and that was in the 70s sometime, that the relievers were coming in to get him out late in the games then, and he still got it to 44, which was unbelievable accomplishment, really.
Yeah, that is. You said Joe DiMaggio had 56, then he waited a couple of days and he started another streak?
Yeah, he didn't get a hit. I believe it ended up being 75. Yeah, he went 56, and then he got no hits one game, and I think it was 19 more after that.
Just one game. He didn't get a hit, and 19 more.
It was just one game.
I did not know that.
It was, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Let me give you an interesting story about DiMaggio when that streak ended. They were playing in Cleveland, and Cleveland was loaded, and still is, with a pretty big Italian population.
Right.
And so even though they wanted the Indians to win, every time DiMaggio came to the plate, they were cheering on DiMaggio. His last at bat, he drives a hard hit ball to the third baseman, Kenny Keltner. And he throws him out by a gnat's eyelash. And at the end of the game...
Hey, Bob Prince.
Beg your pardon, yeah.
Sound like Bob Prince a little bit.
And at the end of the game, they had to give Kenny Keltner and his family who were there a police escort home because the Cleveland fans were ready to kill their own third baseman for helping to stop DiMaggio's streak.
Oh,
True
wow.
story, yeah.
Uh-huh. But that Polanco, the other day, I think they were playing against San Diego, and there was no outs, first and third. He started the game out with a double, and he was standing on third. And he was supposed to hit, they say hit on contact. Really, he's supposed to hit, run the ball, run after the ball is hit on the ground to go and score. Well, he left late.
Right.
Now, when he slid at home, he touched the home plate with his hand instead of his feet. You know, he would have been safe if he did it with his feet.
I think he would have been, and I think they even
why do they do that?
Well, I don't know. He does a lot of things like that to drive you crazy. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
but I see a lot of guys are doing that recently on the Pirates.
Yeah, we talked about this with Polanco, though, and you can probably relate to this. If you think of whoever, you know, when you were growing up in your neighborhood, who the best guy was, who the best player was, and whoever that was, he didn't have to know and do all the little things that guys like us had to do that weren't as good as some of the better players. We had to know what base to throw it to and when to try to go to third and when to try to go to second and all that stuff. We had to try to keep up. It's like Polanco was probably always so much better than everybody else that he played with that he never really learned the nuances of the game. And now that he gets up to the major leagues and he's not better than everybody else, it's when this comes into effect. Last night, first run the Cardinals scored, first inning. First and third, and there's a comebacker to Liriano, and the play was run absolutely perfectly. The guy at third hurries up and runs tail for home. Liriano never looks at him, takes the ball, throws it to second, and turns the double play second to first. And it was exactly how the play was supposed to be done. You just hope when Polanco got in the dugout, somebody says, "Did you see how that was? They weren't going to look at home. All you have to do is come and you score." You know, that's how that works in that situation.
Wow. I wish that manager would tell them to slide with their feet to hit the base instead of their hand.
Oh, yeah.
He should run the show.
And it should be the pop-up slide going into second base with your feet, and the base stops you. That's what it's there for, but those guys overslide the base somehow. I don't understand it.
It's actually 4 feet. I checked it out the other day.
Is that it?
If you, from your feet to your hands, you have 4 feet. You're gaining by doing it with your feet.
You mean from the bottom of your heel to your hip?
No, to your hand. His hand was bent like 90 degrees, his arm. And from that position of your hand down to your feet, that's 4 feet.
Oh.
For him, it's probably 5 feet because he got such long legs.
He's so long. He's all legs, that kid.
Yeah, I know. So he would have gained 5 feet right there.
Exactly.
Darn it, yeah.
Think
what a
about
kid.
that. Oh, I'll tell you what, he could be a great base stealer. If he really works at it, learns how to get the jumps. I don't even think he can do any of that well right now. I just think he outruns the ball to second base a lot. He can really be a weapon stealing bases if he gets good at it.
And by the way, we've been on the air now for 45 minutes. Not one of our callers, to my knowledge, has spoken about the blown calls by the umpires in that Cardinal series at PNC Park, where the umpire said, I heard a foul tip.
Yeah.
And the replay clearly shows that the ball was missed by 6 to 8 inches.
Oh, big time. It's
okay.
That's twice against Burnett in a week.
Now, the rule is
That's
cannot...
twice in the same day.
And twice in the same with Peralta later, yeah.
And you cannot review the play.
Which I don't understand. And Hurdle, I guess, made a call to Joe Torre and said, hey, can we get a look at this now?
And the other thing, they were talking about a play, I think it was at second base, and Walker had the ball, and he was holding it on the runner, and he switched legs, and they were saying, did he
take 1 foot off the base?
Did he take 1 foot off when he was making contact with the other? And they replayed it, not that it was challenged, but the announcers were interested. So the truck, the production truck, was playing it back. But they were saying, isn't it something how a manager can request just about anything, but a play like this, what would have happened if the game ended 1-0 St. Louis?
Exactly. and even with all the replays, they've cut 10 minutes off the games. I saw a stat this morning.
Still, the last check.
I think Walker was holding the ball on that one leg. When he switched it, the ball went off. Then when he switched to the other leg, he should have had the ball on the chest, but he was holding the ball on his thigh.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
By the way, I checked it out. It's 16 games. DiMaggio had 16 more games after, so he hit safely in 72 out of 73 games.
Wow, that's good.
Amazing.
And he never struck out, that guy. That was the amazing thing about him. He'd go through a whole year and hit in the 30s of home runs and strike out 16 times.
And they didn't wear batting helmets in his era.
No, I don't think you're allowed to hit him.
Yeah, McCutcheon's going to have to start
oh, boy.
stepping it up here.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave, we're going to try some trivia with you.
Yeah, okay, I'll take a multiple choice.
Multiple choice. Is it Mike's turn?
You're up.
Oh, I'm up. Okay, now, you've got 15 seconds to answer, but it's no big deal. If you win, you will also get an additional prize, okay? Being a first-time caller. And we hope you're going to call in the future. All right, so here we go. Here is your question. The question is, who holds the Major League Baseball career record of most pinch hit home runs? Who holds the Major League career record of the most pinch hit home runs? And here are your 4 options. Rich Reese, Matt Stairs, Ron Northey, or Willie McCovey?
Oh, how about Matt Stairs?
You got it.
Whoa.
You got it, David. Let me
cool.
circle
Okay,
that.
sounds good.
And we will, the guys have your address, which I'm going to pick up. I will mail you 2 prizes for your efforts here tonight.
Okay.
And in fact, I'll tell you what. Promise me you're going to call again?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to throw in a dozen of donuts for you.
Oh, thanks.
All right?
Share those.
Please. Don't do like I do. Hog 'em up. David, thanks for the participation here tonight.
Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
We owe for a break. Mike and I will do that now. And we'll be back, talk with you, hopefully, next. Stay with us.
The Breakaway Bar and Grill satisfies hungry appetites with their great menu selections. Join your friends at The Breakaway and enjoy a variety of tasty sandwiches, great salads and sides, pizza, calzones, and select tasty items from their kids' menu. Fountain beverages, coffee, tea, your favorite beers, and mixed drinks are available. The Breakaway Bar and Grill across the parking lot from the New Kensington Lower Borough Ice Rink. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go. Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
All right, folks, another reminder, you can enjoy 16-ounce Bud Light drafts for only $2.25, or the 23-ounce drafts for only $3 during all the Pirate games that you can watch at the Breakaway. It's the Bar and Grill on Craigdale Road, right across from the parking lot of the New Kensington Lower Borough Ice Rink.
We were talking about first-time callers. That was so nice of Dave to call. You know, we haven't heard from in a while, calling-wise. The Phantom. Maybe he can call sometime. Maybe next week the Phantom can get it.
Yeah.
We miss him.
I'll even give him a trivia question.
Yeah.
He's so wealthy that what he does.
He doesn't even
is
like
he donates.
Yeah.
He'll donate the
prize. So maybe next week we can do it. By the way, speaking of callers.
Okay.
We have a picture of one of our callers.
Oh, yes.
Everybody knows Terry that calls the show, and he's
does very well.
He was here the night we started, I believe. He was, I believe he got some.
Does very well on the mystery profile.
Right, and he is a local guy, but he's always been a Cleveland Indians fan, along with liking the Pirates. It's okay to like a team in each league.
And he's an astronomer.
And he is our resident official Sportsline astronomer. Well, he told us that he was a little bit. He wasn't exactly sure. He was conflicted when the Indians came to Pittsburgh over 4th of July weekend. So here's how Terry dressed. There you go, with the 1970s Pirate hat and the 1948 Cleveland Indians Chief Wahoo on the T-shirt.
That's the last time the Indians were winners, am I correct?
Picture taken right outside of PNC Park. So there's
because
Terry.
the next World Series, they lost to the Giants.
They played in
6 years after that, in
54,
1954.
And then they played a couple World Series in the 90s. Lost them both. The one to the Marlins in 97 and Jim Leland. And they lost the one, I believe it was in 95, the year coming right back out of the strike. They lost to Atlanta. That's the only one the Braves won.
Now, for those who were around in 1954, Cleveland's Vic Wertz is coming to bat. The Giants manager,
Leo
DeRocher, trying to think of the name.
Leo the Lip.
Tells his pitcher, Don Little, by the way, he just passed away.
I saw it and thought of this, which I know where you're going, and this is what I thought of.
This is a great story. In fact, it was Stan Savran who mentioned this.
Big Indians fan.
And so Don Little goes out there and throws a pitch where DeRocher said, never pitch him there. And Vic Wertz, if you remember how the Polo Grounds was shaped, it was like a bathtub effect. Yeah. And Willie Mays is in center field, and at the crack of the bat, he turns his back to the infield and goes on this race where he makes this over-the-shoulder catch 460-some feet away, I guess it was. He turns around and wheels the ball into the infield to prevent anybody from advancing. DeRocher is so upset. He walks out to the mound. Little gives him the ball, and DeRocher, motioning in the next guy, whether it was a righty or lefty, I don't remember.
They were both lefties, so he was bringing the righty in to pitch to the next guy.
So anyhow, Little gets into the dugout and says, "I got my man."
Exactly what happened.
Anyway.
So that's the Don Little story.
That's the Don Little. And one more quick thing. Don Little had a son. Willie Mays gave him the glove
Oh, how about that?
that he used to make that catch. And what do you think he did with it?
I don't know.
Did not put it up for auction. He went straight to Cooperstown
And put it,
on display
nice.
at no benefit to him. I thought that was even a better story.
Well, since we have a couple minutes left, and since it's the All-Star break, I wanted to go over this. We'll do a quick run through the standings and see what we think. We'll start in the American League. The Yankees are in first place by 3.5 over Tampa, 4 over Baltimore, 4.5 over Toronto, and 6.5 over the Red Sox. 6.5 games separate 1 through 5. Yankees are on a little bit of a streak. They've won 7 out of their last 10. They don't have any pitching, but they hit the ball over the fence, so that's why they're in first place, so they got a shot.
And well, go ahead.
Kansas City, best record in the American League, 605 winning percentage, 4.5 games over Minnesota, and everyone else lagging. The Tigers are only 500 at 44 and 44. Minnesota's one of the wild cards right now. And in the West, the Angels have overtaken the Houston Astros. The Astros have gotten off to a great start, but the Angels have come and overtaken Houston. They are now 48 and 40. The Astros are a half a game back. The Astros would be the other wild card. So the American League right now, it's Yankees, Kansas City, and the Angels are the 3 division leaders. The wild cards right now are Houston and the Minnesota Twins. Nobody had. I think we both had Houston and Minnesota sitting here in April, didn't we? I don't think so. All right, this is what can happen, right? When everybody makes these predictions and seems to know what they're talking about. Cardinals by 2.5 over the Pirates. The Cubs are 8 back. The Pirates and the Cubs are the wild cards right now. Washington in the Eastern Division are 2 games ahead of second place New York Mets, and the Mets are right on the heels of the Cubs for the last wild card. Mets are 47 and 42. The Dodgers are 4.5 games ahead of the Giants in the West. The Giants are also in contention for that last wild card. National League, it's Cardinals, Nationals, Dodgers, the 3 division leaders. Pirates, Cubs are the 2 wild cards. So that's what we have. And I don't know if anybody's going to make a move to catch any of these teams. The Cubs are interesting to watch right now. They righted themselves. They had a tough loss on Wednesday night against the Cardinals. The Cardinals came back on their last at-bat. Peralta hit a home run and beat them. And they looked like they had a little bit of a hangover the first couple games of their next series against the White Sox. They lost Friday and Saturday against the White Sox, who were coming on, by the way. I didn't mention them. They have won. The White Sox have won 7 out of their last 10. Their record is now 41 and 45. Doesn't sound like much, but they've gotten themselves only 5 difference in the loss column from the wild card. They were thinking about they were going to trade everybody, but now you get a little bit closer. It's hard to sell to the fans.
Now, you take a look at the Pirate record, and we only have about a minute to go. The Pirates right now are 18 games above?
They're 53 and 35, 18 games over, and they're playing
above.
602 ball. Only 3 teams playing 600 ball.
What's
Kansas
there
City,
to complain
the
about?
2 teams in Missouri, and the Pirates. Those are the only 600 teams. I-70 and us way out here in the hinterlands.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
Yeah. Folks, I have heard, and of course, doing the TV show as well as the radio show on Saturday, and I've got my website. I can't tell you how many different people who know that I'm based within the Pittsburgh area have said, by the way, congratulations on your Buccos.
Yes.
Making positive ground.
Those are 2 of the most exciting games that they have had in a very, very long time.
And again, I do want to look up the ratings. I think it takes a couple of days, to get that ironed out. So next Monday, I hope to have that for you. What the ESPN ratings were for the Sunday night game, folks. We got to go. See you next week, same time, same channel. I'm Bob Tattern.
I'm Mike Power.
And good night. Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.